Greetings, good afternoon, good night, good morning, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Hello, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is shining and the magpie is casting. Coming at you guys right now with a live 1 vs 1 battle, featuring, spawning in the west, it is going to be the Overcommand West forces of PanzerGrenadierAngreifen. And spawning in the east, it is going to be the British forces of Luvnest. Two fantastic players here. We should be in for a treat. The PanzerGrenadierAngreifen, I'm well aware that you do not pronounce Angreifen that way. It just makes sense to me, so I'm going to keep doing it. PanzerGrenadierAngreifen, a bit of an Axis specialist. I don't think I've ever seen him playing Allied, but he is very talented. Pardon me, with both the Wehrmacht and Overcommand pieces. And he's actually been putting in a lot of work recently. I almost always see him whenever I check in to do some casting in the live games lobby. He's featured on the channel quite a bit recently, and he has been responsible for bringing us some pretty damn entertaining games on the channel too. So, Angreifen, definitely one of my favourite up-and-coming players. I haven't seen him in any sort of higher-level play. I didn't see him in any of the ESLs or anything like that. But I think he's of the caliber now where he could actually be a contender for that. Luvnest, on the other hand, almost needs no introduction. The prolific German player. He's just incredibly good at the game. He's been, I don't know, a fixture on the scene for just, I don't know, ever since ESL has been a thing. And before, he's just very, very good at the game. He also plays it in a way which is very different to how I've seen other players approach the game. He uses the tactical map a lot, like for more things than you would than most players do. He spends probably, I would say, 60% of his screen time on the tactical map, it seems like. And I've had the benefit of standing behind him and watching him play a few games, like literally over his shoulder. So I feel like I'm qualified to make such an observation. So let's take a look here at these opening builds so far. The map, by the way, which I haven't mentioned, is Road to Kharkov. This is a very narrow map, which tends to lead to a lot of very bloody clashes, as flanking and positioning is quite difficult. That's not to say flanking and positioning aren't very important. It's just more difficult than usual to get around your opponent on this map. Now, they did change it a little while ago. They opened up the middle of the map considerably, which I think is a great benefit. Yeah, I think Road to Kharkov is a better map than it's ever been. But as I was saying, let's take a look at these compositions here. Looks like Luvnest here is going to be utilising that Bren carrier, 2 squads of Tommies and a Vickers gun here as we move up to the 3 minutes mark. So a nice concise army here. Let's see where he's positioning his Vickers. Actually, that Vickers is just now coming onto the field now. Storm Pioneers here, get up on top of some Tommies here. That's a really nice pickup for Angreifen. He gets some good damage. Check out the veterancy as well. Okay, actually not that much. So he only managed to mow down 1 Tommy and get a bit of damage on this squad. Not as much as I thought. But getting some nice veterancy on the Storm Pioneers is always good. Here comes the Bren carrier. Luvnest knows that the Storm Pioneers can't really do much against the Bren carrier. And being expensive, quite fragile infantry, the Bren is going to do a good job opposing them down. So a smart choice there. Here comes some Volksgrenadiers though, able to get around that the Bren carrier, which can be damaged by rifles and small arms fire. So Luvnest got to be careful with the little track there for the British forces. Got a little shootout going on between the Tommy squad and the Volk squad over here. Nothing to write home about. Seems to be 2 windows versus 3, I think. Yeah. So, oh no, sorry, 3 windows versus 3. So that one, they should just attrition on down. I suspect the Tommies will have the edge if this goes on long enough, because they get the rate of fire bonus, of course, for being in heavy cover. But we'll see. Vickers gun takes up this the dream house in the east over here. Gonna suppress some bolts right away. Look at the damage hooning in. Angreifen gonna have to fall back there, but does take some losses. So nice pickups there for Luvnest. Both the players at the moment pretty much even. Nobody's taken any big big leads in any way. Looks like Luvnest is just about. He's just about trailing in terms of the victory points. Sorry, just about leading in terms of the victory points even right now. Platoon command post is finished, and we've got some Royal Engineers coming on the way just now. This Bren is actually quite weak, so it's going to be glad to see the boys from Wales, the Royal Engineers, when they roll into town, which they will shortly be doing. Here comes a Kettenwerfer, though. So Angreifen responding to his opponent's composition nicely, though. That's going to be really nice. If he gets the opening shot on this on the Bren carrier, he will destroy it, and even if he doesn't, it will serve to zone out the Bren carrier and possibly any AEC scout car that might follow. Neither player has picked a commander yet, but I'm just going to check the base here and see if... Okay, so we've got no sign of Beaufort or AEC coming out here from Luvnest. I'm keen to see how he opts to use the British forces. I've never seen him play Brits before, so I'm very keen to see what he decides to make happen. And Angreifen was able to grab this cut-off point here for an instant, which was nice, because that is actually going to seriously... you know, that is the first sort of swing, if you like, in terms of the resources of the game. Of course, PanzerGrenadierAngreifen has both his munitions and fuel point connected this whole time, so disrupting his opponent's resources just for an instant there, but that is going to put him ahead. So that's going to be useful. Shverov Max Schlepper now moving on to the field, and we're going to see where he's going to rally that and choose to deploy. Oh no, the Rakettenwerfer gets pounced on though. A squad of Tommies is going to find it. That should be a fallback. I feel like Angreifen needs to fall this back. There it comes. Oh, but the Rakettenwerfer, of course, there's an accuracy bonus when you shoot against a weapons team. So these Tommies doing some really good damage. The Rakettenwerfer is going to escape, so that's nice. Making use of the overcommand advantage there. Able to fall back their anti-tank gun is really nice. And now he knows that the Rakettenwerfer is not in the picture. The Bren carrier is going to come in to support these Tommies. But this is a lot of Volksgrenadiers. That was like 10 Volksgrenadiers. Able to do a lot of damage to those Tommies and force the squad back. So nice pickups for Angreifen here, who also manages to capture a VP over here in the west. Two-man squad of Volks, a little bit dangerous, but it's going to be okay for now. Going up to 3 squads of engineers makes me think it's almost certain he's going to pick the Mobile Assault Regiment and get some flamethrowers on those engineers. That seems like the most likely choice here. Oh, pardon me, something just caught my throat there. So, yeah, almost certainly I would say Luvnest probably is going to go for the Mobile Assault Regiment. Angreifen looks like he's gone for Special Operations Doctrine. Okay, quite spicy, I like that. So he's going to have the radio blackouts, the infiltration grenades, the STG upgrade on his Oversoul Darton, the reconnaissance flares, and of course the almighty Command Panther, which can be a real beast. Wow, the Vickers gun upgrade. Oh, this I did not expect. Luvnest, what are you like? God, this is just some crazy shizzle right here. I'm not really sure what to make of that Vickers gun upgrade. It always seems a bit underwhelming in terms of DPS to me. It does open up a nice suppression option, but in terms of DPS, it always felt underwhelming to me. Anyway, it is cheaper than the Wasp. So there is that. 3 squads of Royal Engineers. I suppose he doesn't have the munitions for a flamethrower. And Luvnest, like I say, I mean, he is right at the top end of the game, so he won't pick that commander until he literally can press the flamethrower upgrade button. So he's not going to take it until he has at least 60 munitions, and wisely so. Vickers gun has actually pushed up over here in the east, and this is now kind of becoming a bit of a problem here. Luvnest is beginning to encroach into Angreifen's territory. Remember, the fuel point is just back here, and this one right here is a cutoff point, so this Vickers gun doesn't have to come much further before it's not just denying resources, it's literally going to start causing serious logistical problems for the Axis forces. Royal Engineers just feeding in here. A bit of a misclick, though, from Luvnest. Storm Pioneers and Volksgrenadiers keen to take advantage. Even a Rakettenwerfer who needs some shots in. It looks like the boys from Wales are going to escape, but a slight mistake there from Luvnest. And Angreifen does capitalise. Now, Angreifen is still trailing by about 20 victory points right now. Tommy's going to take up position on this line here. The 5-man squad upgrade has actually come down at very early timing for Luvnest here, and I really like this. This is actually super spicy. Because now he can, like, just bully these squads down. Looks like a Puma is going to be the choice. Oh, of course, Mechanized Regiment. Sorry, I didn't mention. Mechanized Regiment has been the attack of choice here for PanzerGrenadierAngreifen. He's going to be going for a Puma, and that's going to enable him to hunt the Bran and possibly deal with any AEC that may or may not be forthcoming. This Rakettenwerfer should be dead here. Oh my goodness, he gets the Rakettenwerfer out of there. Clutch timing there from Angreifen. That was a little bit lucky and a little bit very well judged, I think. Oh, here comes Royal Engineers. But Angreifen's multitasking and awareness. He's straight on it. Gets the valuable Fragile Storm Pioneers out of there. Volksgrenadiers likewise falling back in good order. But the fire from the Tommies is intense. Picks up another one. And the health on the remaining 2 models very low. But Angreifen, they're going to survive. He's up to 4 squads of Volks now. So he's actually really got the infantry corps that can take on this army here for Luvnest. This Vickers gun on the right flank, though. Not pushing up. I suppose he doesn't want to. I suppose it's in a decent position, but he does get the cutoff point. But here comes the Puma. He immediately finds the Bren carrier. There's no mines or support, so the Puma's just going to eat that one up. Yum, 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 yum. That's a freebie. And now Luvnest is going to need some anti-tank option. Looks like he's gone on ahead and researched the AEC, and we do have the British scout car about to enter the field. Now, these Tommies, the gun line behind this wall, they've just been firing solidly for like the last minute, or maybe even longer. Here comes them, the boys from Wales, these Royal Engineers, going to flush PanzerGrenadierAngreifen's last Volksgrenadiers out of the west of the map. And look at the mini-map. Luvnest, just by incrementally taking nice fights, has really, really pushed up. And I feel like the court are pushing up here. Stage 1 was getting the Vickers into this building. Stage 2 was getting your Tommies into a gun line behind this wall, which was never flanked by Angreifen. And Tommy's firing from green cover will do really good damage. And they were firing for like 60 seconds or more. And that's 60 seconds of intensively Enfield fire that was just being soaked up by Angreifen's forces. He's had to pull squads back. Luvnest has been able to push up and capitalise here. And now he has Angreifen under a triple cap, and for the first time this game, it feels like we have someone who's ahead and someone who's truly behind here. Angreifen has a little bit of work to do here He needs to minimize this window where he's under a triple cap as quickly as possible. Flamethrower upgrades are now coming down on the Royal Engineers. That does tell us, of course, that Luvnest has chosen the mobile assault doctrine. So we can look forward to land mattresses and the good old infiltration commando teams. So it's going to start getting pretty spicy up in here. And I feel for Angreifen here. He's in a really, really tough spot. Even his Puma here is going to possibly be in jeopardy. The AEC could... Where is the... Okay, so the AEC is down here. Okay, it is now heading for the Puma. Here we go. So this Puma is doing some pretty good work. It's nearly at 1 star of accuracy, but the AEC is going to be absolute business here. He sets it to target vehicles. Here comes the lean scout car. Biff gets a miss, though. The Puma's going to scurry on over here towards the west. And Angreifen looks to disengage with that unit, I think. Oh no, he's going to rotate to bring his armor around to bear and his turret. Okay, and then he's just going to sit tight. The Tommies have line of sight, though, so it's not like Luvnest doesn't know where this is. The Vickers gun, yes, this is what I'm on about. The Vickers gun is now pushed up to here, and this is just Luvnest doing good stuff now. Angreifen's entire army in his base, unable to fight. These Volksgrenadiers just soft retreating back to the base. He didn't even have to pull them back. They were literally forced to return home here because they cannot take the field. Now, he's got 2 Shreks on his Volks. He still has the Puma, which is going to be repaired here. So he's got all the tools he needs. The 2 armies, you know, are basically evenly matched. 4 squads of Volks, Storm Pioneers plus Rakettenwerfer and Puma, versus 2 squads of Tommies, 3 of Royal Engineers, Vickers, and the AEC. Almost completely evenly matched. There have been no squad wipes as far as I've noticed so far, except for the Bren carrier, I suppose, if you call that a squad wipe. So, you know, this game's been really even. Now, look, we do have mines coming down here for Luvnest as Royal Engineers getting to work, putting down some sneaky mines here. And it looks like Angreifen, look how smart he is, running the mine detector out in front of this Puma. He knows if that Puma gets snagged, it's going to be GG, and he sees the mines. Look, there are 2 sets here. So very, very wise here. He knows Luvnest is a high-level player, and he knows he has to respect that fact. Now, the AC thinks about coming in from the rear, but the Shreks are going to keep that one at bay, whilst the Puma continues to chew down these Tommies in the building. But Tommies in the building, look at them, they're hosing down these engineers. If the engineers have to fall back, Angreifen once again cannot leave the base. Okay, the Puma here just going to take some attack ground rounds and destroys both sets of mines, so that's really nice. Here comes some Volksgrenadiers to try and flush out these Tommies, but look how much damage they take. This Rakettenwerfer, I'd love it if it was actually just facing the back, seeing as how he did just see the AEC have a little poke from that. But yeah, he's actually coming out here. Whoa, but the Storm Pioneers taking an awkward fight. They actually managed to beat these Royal Engineers. Fantastic stuff. And Angreifen takes the most important point for him on the map, a victory point, because he's down at 256 under 451. Quite the triple cap window established by Luvnest just now. Incendiary grenade going to force these engineers out of the building. More Volks flanking around to the north here as Angreifen begins to sink his teeth into this region of the map. But you know what? He's got no forces at all up in the north. And you know, Luvnest has double fuel, double muni right now. So this is tough times right now for Angreifen, who's gone ahead and gotten a light field gun. Okay, quite like that. Yeah, it's a bit of a gamble, that. Taking the light right now is definitely a gamble. Oh god, but there's a land mattress. Pretty sure a land mattress beats a light. This is unfortunate. Actually, you know what? Angreifen knows for sure that Luvnest has the mobile assault doctrine. It is mobile assault, right? Yeah, regiment, sorry. As his commander.
Losing a capture point.
And I think armed with that information, I think that the light gun here is not the smartest of choices, because you know your opponent has land mattresses. You know they're going to hit the field around about now. And a land mattress barrage centered around a light gun, you know, that'll be a lucky light gun that survives that one. So, not sure what I think of this choice of the light gun here, but time will tell. If he gets a couple of lucky hits, maybe even a squad wipe on some Tommies or something, he can start picking things up. Speaking of picking things up, he's secured a victory point, he's grabbing ammunitions, he's grabbing a fuel, and Angreifen here has been able to make a move stick here for just a little bit of time, which is lovely. Now, there are mines all over the shop. Where's his detector right now? Okay, so these Storm Pioneers are just now coming out. Until those Storm Pioneers come out, the mobility of PanzerGrenadierAngreifen's army is going to be severely curtailed. So, like, that minesweeper is going to be, like, absolutely key to making any kind of moves here. Royal Engineers getting absolutely butchered, though. Nice focus fire comes down from the Volk, and he actually picks up a squad of Royal Engineers, does Angreifen. Those infiltration grenades coming in just a little too close to his own Volks, but no damage is dealt. The land mattress decides to take some shots, though. Where are you firing, bro? Okay, it's just saturating the Rakettenwerfer, which tries to fall back. It may even know that rocket looks. Oh, he may even get out of there. I don't want to speak too soon. Wow, he actually gets out of there with that. So that's really nice. And now he's getting a Panzer II. Luke's his Angreifen. And he's actually looking quite smart right now. Like, okay, so Luvnest forces Angreifen's troops out of the south of the map. He's going to grab back the triple cap. He's going to grab back the fuel and the munitions. That's very important. But Angreifen here is preserving his forces very nicely. And as long as he keeps doing that, he's not out of the game. And he's taking smart fights. He even managed to inflict a squad wipe just now, so that's actually pretty tasty as well. Why is this Puma... Okay, yeah, now we can inflict these guys. Gotta say though, I'm loving Luvnest's build here. So it was Bren Carrier into Tommy's, or was it? I think it was Tommy's into Bren Carrier into Vickers, platoon command post, 5-man squad upgrade, then loads of engineers. I think that's how the build went, and it's really spicy. I have to say, it's pretty cool. I'm liking what I'm seeing. And now we have... Wow, so the company command post is finished. I mean, because Luvnest just has fuel for days. Uh-oh, Puma taking a risk here, coming into an area which has not been swept by minesweepers. There are mines out here, but he doesn't fall foul of them just now. But yeah, and as I was just saying, company command post has finished for the British player. Luvnest now has access to a Cromwell, which is what he is constructing here. Here comes the Puma, which is going to push this Vickers finally out of the north and open this area of map up for Angreifen to be able to finally actually do something. Meanwhile, we've got a battle here going on in south. Loads of Volksgrenadiers taking on Royal Engineers with flamethrowers. The infiltration grenades are kind of mad though. Forcing one squad back. Now it's a reasonable concave, or at least a line here of Volksgrenadiers against just the one squad of Royal Engineers here. Angreifen needs to fall back the 2-man squad. There we go. But apart from that, actually, Angreifen taking some convincing fights up here in the north as well. He's going to grab the fuel point back. So, I mean, you know, let's not forget, Luvnest is one of the best players who ever played this game. So it's really heartening to see Angreifen able to keep pace with him and, like, you know, keep him on his toes. Like, this is an actual game that's unfolding here. Nice shoal from the light cannon there, taking like half the health off that Tommy squad. But the AEC finds the Puma, and that is crucial. That's a real setback, and the first severe loss that Angreifen has actually suffered. Oh no, now his Volksgrenadiers are in jeopardy. Oh, the Lux comes in for a chase here. The AEC escapes on minimal health, and the Cromwell will come in to take care of the Axis light tank. A calamity. Just a cruel twist of fate here for Angreifen. I think chasing with the Lukes there, I mean, I can see why he did it, because look how low this AEC is. It's on a pixel of health, and he felt like he had to even the odds because he just lost his own Puma, but that was a touch unfortunate. Now these Volksgrenadiers down here in the south kind of getting hung out to dry. Angreifen needs to quickly pay some attention here. But Cromwell is in the hood, so this could very well be a squad wipe. And once you start losing your core infantry as overcommand, it's almost impossible to come back. And Cromwell here is going to do its best to block this retreat, I would have thought. No, he's just going to keep pace and slam him with the cannon. Bye-bye Volksgrenadier. Oh, he's somehow surviving. He's going to get mown down in just a second, though. This is a guaranteed squad wipe, I think. Rakettenwerfer shows up to try and help, but it's too little too late. Look, the Cromwell's just going to continuous look. Luvnest knows exactly what he can get. Two Shreks here. Surely this Volk is not going to get out. There we go. Last shot though. And you know, that Cromwell actually exposed itself to more damage than I'm sure Luvnest would have liked there, so that's not so bad. Land Mattress is going to be taking some more shots here though. Finds the Rakettenwerfer. That's going to force that one back, and I imagine level this building. Yep, there we go. Storm Pioneers are active up in the north, so that's just quite nice. It looks like Angreifen going to prioritise just defusing these mines here, I think. Yep, so they're just going to defuse the mines here for... No? Oh, yep, okay, there we go. For some reason I thought that the actual mine defusal like, didn't finish that. Anyway, AEC here. Going to be firing at these Storm Pioneers as they retreat. Nothing to write home about there. Now, Angreifen does have like some resources. Like, he's definitely not out of this, but he's in a real bad spot now. Down at 180 under 446. His westernmost victory point, the only thing that was keeping him in the game, really has now just been taken. So the bleed is about to get real for Angreifen. His Volksgrenadiers, you know, to his credit, 3 squads with Shreks, decent veterancy over those. They are his primary asset right now. It's a shame he lost 1 squad of them. And then he's got double Kettenwerfer, Light Gun, Storm Pioneers. That is not the best army. I mean, it's reasonable, and it's enough to prevent him from just being dead. But oh, look, see the Cromwell. Oh, getting some crushes there. Just going to come in here and just do a lot of damage. The Kettenwerfer is here in time, but it's a little late. Oh, the crushes are so real, and the Cromwell looks for the 4-star squad here. Not going to find it. But that was close. I'm sure closer than Angreifen would have liked. Let me just check the tech here for Luvnest. No sign of hammer or anvil just yet. He's floating nearly 100 fuel. And an SAS sniper has been added to the ranks. Oh, that's so brutal. That's just going to make all these fights so unprofitable for Angreifen. Angreifen actually floating a considerable amount of manpower right now. I'm not sure I understand what the logic is for that. I think he needs to buy another Puma. A Puma is quite a reasonable choice against these units, and just use it very defensively. Just keep the Puma back. Use it as a mobile way of taking care of these medium tanks. Once you get some veterancy on a Puma, it can be quite good. I wonder if he just doesn't have the time for that though. He'd love to be able to build a Jagd right now, a good old Jagdpanzer, but he can't, of course, because they moved the Jagdpanzer to the Schwerpanzer HQ, so that's not going to be an option. I'm just trying to see how Angreifen can try to come back in this game. I feel like he fought very well, but I mean, it just wasn't nearly enough, was it? According to the scoreline. So here comes a really nicely coordinated move from Luvnest. The Cromwell going to come around the back here. A number of Shreks are in position. Whoa, flash fullback on all the squads. I'm not sure if Angreifen meant to do that, to be honest. And here comes O, because he heard the land matches firing. This is right. Oh no. Gets both the Rakettenwerfers, and I think with that is probably the nail in the coffin. I'm not sure if using those two Rakettenwerfers is just too much to come back from. I mean, Angreifen does have the manpower to replace those, but I'm sure he wanted to do something else with that manpower. And now there's another Cromwell on the build queue. And the base is beginning to get sieged down here for Angreifen. The light gun here, all that stands between this Cromwell and the base right now.
Reports coming in suggest the enemy is down to 75 points.
And yeah, this is looking pretty bad right now for Angreifen. So let's just take a look here. Another Cromwell is going to be coming. Yeah, okay. So Angreifen chooses this moment to GG, and you cannot blame him. He was defeated there, but he clearly possesses the skill. Like, he was never actually soundly beaten in combat. Like, he never lost his whole army. There was no like super Hadouken uppercut maneuver from Luvnest that like destroyed PanzerGrenadier outright. I feel like they were both very even until Luvnest was just able to take that sweet fight. The one where I mentioned where he had the Vickers here, which like made it so that the Axis forces couldn't advance like pretty much past this area here. And then he put 2 squads of 5-man Tommies, so that was 10 Tommies in a line behind this wall. And the Tommies just defeated all of the Volksgrenadiers and stuff that were in this area. The Vickers gun made sure that nobody could cap any of this stuff. So basically, off the back of that fight, Luvnest pretty much had triple cap map control, and then was able to convert that into double muni, double fuel relatively easily by just pushing up in the north here and bringing the Vickers, leapfrogging it into this building. And that was just a massive setback. And PanzerGrenadierAngreifen fought very well, and he didn't lose any squads. His awareness and multitasking there was fantastic, but he just didn't have the map control. Now, don't be fooled into thinking that this game was as one-sided as the scoreline 64-446 might suggest. Angreifen clearly possesses the skill here to actually keep up with Luvnest in terms of unit preservation and composition and things like that. It's just that he was forced to take bad fights and start losing units because Luvnest's superior tactics and positioning on the field and use of the British units just overcame PanzerGrenadierAngreifen. But I feel like this battle was more like 60-40 Luvnest, PanzerGrenadierAngreifen. Like, Angreifen is in the league where he can play a 21-minute game against Luvnest without looking like a fool. And I don't know many people who can do that. And if he plays many more games against Luvnest, his skill is going to increase. He's going to get used to playing against a man of this caliber. And yeah, I mean, basically what I'm trying to say is PanzerGrenadierAngreifen has laid the foundation to convert himself into being a fantastic player at this game, and the only thing he needs to do is keep playing more players like Luvnest in games like this, and that's all it's going to take. I believe in him. I think he can really do this. So this was actually a really promising game from PanzerGrenadierAngreifen, and I really hope he doesn't feel bad about it at all, because I'm really impressed with what I saw. Anyway, that will conclude this video. Remember, of course, I am off to Thailand tomorrow for a month. No guarantees that I'll be able to do any uploads or anything whilst I'm there, but I am going to try. Yep. I guess that means for now, this will be Magpie842 signing out. Although I am going to hop back into the Live Games lobby and just try and do... Because I can see on my friends list, like Von Aston, Luvnest, Jove, they're all online and playing right now. So I'm going to try and get some more games, hopefully with some high-caliber players, just in a second. So I might see you shortly. But yes, indeed. For now, this is Magpie842 signing out.